Hello, welcome back to Squashwarp Missions in Kerbal Space Program. I'm Luke, and today we are landing on Minmus with Gwendis Kurtman. I'm going to skip through some of this because this will be our third Minmus landing with this craft, but Gwendis needs to get science from Minmus so we can keep unlocking things. I did realize that I had forgotten my Kerbal Environmental Institute, the mod that gets us science from around the Space Center. So it turns out we were actually, we did have access to more science, so I unlocked the next node, but it's going to take a long time to get it. It cost 550 science. It seems like we're coming in for a landing here. Let's just double check what's happening. It looks like we're going to crash. Okay, hang on. Let's that still looks like a collision to me. There we go. Okay, we've had to mess with our orbit, but I think we're going to be okay now. I think. Yeah, let's give it a little bit more. Anyway, we're trying to land in the lowlands or the highlands because we've already been to the midlands. Woo, flying over the midlands quite fast. All right, Gwendis. All right, it says now that we're going to land in the lowlands, but we're going to land in the lowlands way back there. That's not what we want. All right, let's turn orbit retrograde. Anyway, what was I saying? We got more science. We unlocked the gravity detector, which was what we most wanted access to. And I'm not worrying too much about efficiency here, because it's Minmus. We didn't even have full fuel in this thing when we launched. Let's just warp here. Of course, I'll be eating my words when I strand her, but I think Gwendis is going to be fine. Alright, see you on the ground. So I could try using the Suicide Bird countdown on Flight Engineer, but I have quick saved in case that is wrong, because in the past, they're talking over me. In the past, I have experienced that being incorrect, but this is, many years and many versions later, so it could be fixed. Or it may be more precise when we're coming down more steeply. But anyway, I've quick saved in case the mod gets us killed, because that's not canon if that happens. I'm just experimenting with using that. A suicide burn is when you start burning the engines at exactly the last second, and you just full thrust. Well, hopefully you'll see it if we pull it off in 27 seconds. Yeah, you just burn at the last possible second and come to the surface just as you stop your velocity. But it's a little nerve-wracking. Set 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 2. Oh, it's not quite precise. Maybe that's all just the difference of being off by a couple fractions of a second, but I could have waited a little longer, but maybe it was just that fraction of a second that I didn't get it precise. I don't know. But either way, we're coming in for a landing. Where's the sun? Where's our shadow? It's a lot easier to... Oh, there's our shadow. A lot easier to land when you can see your shadow. Alright, well, we made it to the surface anyway. We don't need to do that unless we're trying to be super precise. Alright, I'm going to science it up. Be right back. While the material samples were processed, you began to turn your thoughts to how much Minmus looks like a mint dessert and have discovered that you are now hungry. Gwenvin's from a different save. Gwendis is going to take a big leap. Just for the fun of it. Yeah, there she is. She's happy. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now we get to go back and get in our capsule. But she had a great time on Minmus. And there's our space station passing overhead. So we're going to go launch and rendezvous with them. Let's point, yeah, orbit prograde. Or orbit. Here we go. Flying over the surface. I do love this. I'm cutting a lot of it out, but I do love the coming and landing. I cut it out because I don't know what to say. Like, you know, there's some things in Kerbal that there's lots to say about, and there's other things that it's like, yeah, we're just flying over Minmus. I'll point it out when something especially cool is happening. I love how we can't see the stars because Minmus is too bright. That's a really cool detail. I don't even know what mod is doing that. Distant object enhancement? I think it's distant object enhancement. Anyway, go into the space station now. You know, it's only now occurring to me that this thing probably has the Delta V to visit 2 biomes before we actually return to the space station. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Maybe we can try that on a subsequent visit, because that would save trips for sure. Let's get aligned properly, please. That's good enough. I hope Chatterer isn't annoying. I really enjoy the Kerbals having something to say while I'm playing. It makes it feel more like, well, that there's somebody else here. There we go. Alright, we have to do some science skipping through. I'll be back. Minmus is cold. Ice cream is cold. Coincidence? You hope not. Okay, gotta pick up some science from these here containers and deliver them to their various places. Take. And store experiments, sure. And take. I was just trying to figure out which set to put where, but I think this is going to be fine. Take. Store experiments. Oh, we can just get in. Let's go ahead and get in. Board. Hooray! And now we can level her up, maybe? Let's see. Level up crew. Okay, Gwendis didn't level up, but she did get experience. I thought they would get to level 2, but maybe they have to go to the moon as well to get level 2. Well, how's our research doing? We can transmit our 57 science once we have more battery power. We're making about 10 science a day. The lab is plenty full. And since we don't level up from just visiting Minmus, Hudemy can wait to do his trip until we're a little lower on data. So that's that. Let's see what else is going on in the world of the space program. We have nearly 500 science here. Oops, Bob Kerman refuses to work? Oh, for Pete's sake, we're having problems again. But anyway, let's transmit our science as soon as we get into sunlight, because I feel like we're going to lose power here. Sunlight, there we go. Let's... Where is our electric charge? Yeah. Get power. We might not have the battery power on this thing to transmit this science, so let's find out. let's hang on. Let's stop research for a second. Let's transmit the science. Let's see if we're able to do it. I don't know. We might have to do require incomplete again or whatever the rate. Allow partial. Yeah, we're going to have to allow partial. Yeah. Okay. Where are all our transmitters? This is going to take me a second. Okay, we did it. 496 science added. That's fantastic. All right, let's start up research again. So we're producing 10 science per day. Let's see if we can process any more science. Review data. There. 60. Cool. Now it's full. 12 science a day. We got to remember to check in. Let's see. Hang on. If it's... I'm going to do math, and then we'll see what's happening. 12 science a day. 500 science. 12 goes into... Okay, I did the math, and we'll have an alarm to get our science when it's next ready. That was hard. It was just 500 divided by 12, but I couldn't do it. Alright, Space Center. Alright, with all this science, first of all, we're already working on advanced science tech. We're also going to work on heat management systems. But I think it's finally time to start putting science into our aircraft. So I'm going to start unlocking some of these aerodynamic tiers. So that'll be coming up soon. Okay, we didn't quite have enough to get all the way to high altitude flight, and actually what we really want is hypersonic flight, because I'm just going to skip straight to really powerful spacecraft. Because I've tried building single stage to orbit with the Panther afterburning turbofan, and it's not that it's not possible, it's just I'm not very good at it. They're not that useful until you get more powerful engines, and I don't want to waste time. What else can we do? Ooh. It's a nighttime thunderstorm. That's amazing. Alright, we've completed Griffin Mark 1B. We can launch a new crew to the space station anytime we want, but we don't need to for a long time. Oh. Let's unlock aerodynamics. Okay, something that I'm very excited about is coming up. The Duna lander is arriving at Duna. However, I don't have probe control, and I, again, am surprised that that's the case. Where is Kerbin? There's so many okay. There's so many things. Hang on, let's turn off the unknown objects. Whoops. Focus view on Kerbin. Could it be that the moon's in the way? Please tell me the moon's in the way. It's possible that the moon's in the way. No. No, I don't think so. I think we just don't have signal for some reason. I could have sworn we did the math. Oh well. Hopefully our encounter is correct, because we're going to have to wait for a relay of some kind. What is our... What is your range? 2G. Well, that's what our other spacecraft has. I guess our other spacecraft has more. Standby. Yeah, the chart is correct. I just keep reading it wrong. But that's going to be fine, as long as we have the ability to stage. Oops, hang on. Let me focus on Duna. We're arriving at Duna. We might get relay from our Duna probe if we're lucky, but its relay antenna is only 2G as well, so I don't know if it counts the total. Well, we'll find out. And we'll find out if this is the right approach. We'll find out all of these things. So let's save and let's warp to our arrival. Let's find Duna in the sky. It's sunward and that way. Why can I never find the planets when we're approaching them? I don't know, I can find Eve and Jewel. Whatever, let's warp. It'll show up. There it is. Yeah, it was just black. Okay. Arriving. Okay, let's get into the sphere of influence. This was one of the first missions that I launched. This was when we still had the first level of VAB and PAD. I was just thinking about how these interplanetary probes are like they're like opening presents from my past self, you know? Because you send them off and then they eventually arrive. That's in a day. Do we have any alarms? The recycle module is going to be complete. We can ignore that. All right, save. Let's warp here. Coming in. Thankfully, we're not hitting Ike. Doesn't look like we're going to get relay from the probe. So let's point orbit retrograde. That at least we can do. And we have 284 meters per second. So if I add a maneuver here... Oh, I can't add maneuvers, right. All right, well, we're just going to quick save, and I'm going to try this descent, but if it goes wrong, there's been too much work put into this. I haven't landed on Duna more than a couple times in all the 10 years I've been playing Kerbal Space Program. Well, since these are doing nothing, let's retract the antenna so they don't get blown off. Retract antenna. And we want to take thermometer and barometer readings as we're descending through the atmosphere. That's what we want to do. All right, here we go. Duna landing in just a moment. Dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. It feels like it needs a soundtrack, but I don't know what soundtrack that was. Dust storms. Wonder if we're going to land in the middle of a dust storm. Okay. And about to hit the atmosphere. All right, we've hit the atmosphere. I'm just going to throttle up and start braking. Oh boy. Right, the thrust limiter's all the way down. Well, that isn't going to work very well, is it? Temperature and atmospheric pressure. Heat, heat. We want to also take it when we get flying low. Alright, our periaps is decreasing. Yeah, we're definitely going into some dust. Oh! Duna is creepy with these mods. You can't see anything. Still flying high. And remember, we can separate. Alright, our periaps is now in... We're definitely landing now. Altitude is 10 kilometers. And atmospheric pressure and temperature scan from flying low. And I think I'm going to turn off the engine and jettison the stage. There we go. We were originally going to go in on the heat shield, but I was nervous that it wouldn't slow us down enough, so I used the engine, but this is our probe. Later and electric charge are fine. So we can deploy the first parachute now. The first 2 parachutes, I guess. I thought there was one. Okay, drogue chutes deployed. And main chute deploy. Main chute deploy, maybe? Maybe there's not enough pressure. Minimum pressure. Let's turn that down. There it goes. Yep, this is a dust storm, all right. Oh, it froze. Okay. Okay, our spacecraft crashed. And our last 2 parachutes, which we probably don't need, but we've now got 5 parachutes open. And they've all deployed. But the atmosphere is so thin that we're still descending at 6 meters a second. Okay. We're landing in the lowlands. I think we can survive this impact. Gosh, this dust storm is pretty intense, though. You can hear it. I don't know how well the sound will come through in the recording, but it's sure intense in my headphones. Look, Duna has like a surface. Duna looks so good with these mods. Oh, this is so cool. Alright. Descending a little fast even with all these parachutes because Duna's atmosphere is so thin. But that is okay. I think we're going to be alright. Careful, we're going to land on a rock. And... oh, we did it! Don't fall over! Don't fall over! Oh, we've landed on Duna! We can take a seismic scan. There does not appear to be significant seismic activity on the planet. It is possible that it is no longer geologically active. Keep that experiment. Do some mystery goo. The strong winds from a passing dust devil ripple the exposed goo. You think it's enjoying it. I just realized that we forgot to do one of our mystery goo observations. But that's okay. We missed like 10 to 14 signs. It's okay. Okay. We can take another seismic scan. The instrument detects some very faint tremors. Maybe Duna isn't so dead after all. Keep that experiment too. We can run the other mystery goo. I don't think it'll give us anything. Okay. Well, we can't transmit our other science, so we have to wait to take temperature and barometer readings until we upgrade the tracking station. But here we are. We've landed on Duna. We're getting electric charge. You can see Eve and Jewel in the background, and Kerbin and Moho. Look, we can see Kerbin from far away. That's so cool. All right. Well, this is fantastic. Thank you for joining me here on the surface of Duna. We finally arrived, and soon we'll be sending kernels here before you know it. All right. Hooray. We can just stay here and warp the 3 hours. You know what? We can extend these antennae. And at least try to get signal at some point when we're in range. There we go. Because the dust storm isn't actually dangerous for us. Okay. Let's just warp the 3 hours until the spacecraft is ready. We can watch this dust storm go by at high speed. Wow. Alright, go faster. And the dust storm is over. Just like that. And the sun beating down on us. It's very bright here with the ambient light turned up. You need it for dark sides of planets, but Duna is very, very bright right now. All right, recycler module is complete. Fantastic. Cool, let's go back to Kerbin. Okay, we have a new space station component ready to go up to Manticore Space Station. This has a bunch of recyclers, as well as a new habitat. But I realized I forgot to rotate it, so we're going to have to rotate as we launch. Okay, here we go. And bank. Okay. So this has recycler modules for the life support, which we're testing out, as well as an inflatable habitat that we're also testing out. It is beautiful. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, and of course we're also going to try to recover our first stage booster. So we're doing a few things at once here. This will bring up the capacity of the space station to many Kerbals, although we don't really have a need for that many Kerbals at the space station right now, but it'll really increase the habitat time at the station. Alright. So far so good. Good time to apoaps. Decent gravity turn, by my standards anyway. Okay. Might fast forward some of these things. Alright, decouple. And throttle up. Now you can see the spacecraft. I wonder if we're going to be able to recover the other stage, given that we need to do this apoaps burn. We'll find out. Alright, re-entering as usual. It always makes me nervous that it's going to break, but success! Alright, with our stage recovered, we're back with the recycling module, and we're going to deploy these solar panels, mostly just to look at them. And we're going to do our orbital rendezvous. Yeah, aren't those panels great with the restock mod? They look great. Okay, see you in a second. Ooh, the solar panels, like, glow through the back when the sun's behind them. Is that actually happening, or is that an optical illusion? Looks really cool regardless. Alright, almost there. Alright, arriving. You know, just barely not crashing into him again, just as we usually do. What was that noise? Oh, the space station has got RCS on. Why does the space station have RCS on? That's weird. Alright. Well, where do we want to dock this thing? Alright, I think I have a plan. Okay, we're gonna dock here. Set as target. I'm gonna quick save in case I break a solar panel or something. And let's get pointed. So we've got three components to this spacecraft. There's this habitat module. There's this big utility trunk with the recyclers and a docking adapter in the solar panels. Good. And then there's the spacecraft that actually brought us up here, which doesn't need to stick around. In fact, we can empty that out right now. So I don't think there's anything in it that we need. It's looking like a real space station. This is fun. All right, let's reset the camera. Aim camera, reset camera. All right. Next step involves moving the tug, I think. Undock you. Not hitting the radiator. Just a quick jaunt. Good. We undock this piece. And aim so that we will get solar panels so we don't become dead in space. And then switch. And undock this one. Switch vessels. Let's control from here, and let's target this port, because we want to see the tug doing its job, because there's no probe core on this part otherwise. Let's make sure that we're in locked so I can see what I'm doing. We need to rotate this way. Because I like the idea... Oh, I'm rotating the wrong way. Oh well. I like the idea that the aft side of the space station core is for utility docking, and the front side of the space station core is for crew docking. But I have rotated the wrong way, so we will have to adjust. Got a lot of momentum. These recycling parts are much heavier than I expected. All right. Now we can extend these solar panels. So now the space station's solar generation capacity has been dramatically increased. Look how large this recycling module is there. That tug can stay exactly where it is. And aside from maybe bringing some monopropellant over, I don't think that the other spacecraft really has any task to do. So let's save, and we'll deorbit that in a second. Let's take a look at our power situation. I just realized we've got this cool heat. That's heat management. Where is There it is, systems monitor. We're making 82 electric current per second, and we're only spending 5. So that's fantastic. Let's start life support. Let's see what happens to our habitation when we turn this on. So right now, where are we? This one. Right now we have 369 days of supplies. Pardon me. Let's start life support. Now we have 2 years and 28 days. We can do the same thing with this one. Well, that one didn't do anything. Oh, because we only have 3 Kerbals. I see. So it doesn't actually add anything to have the second recycler. But I put the second recycler on because at some point we'll have 6 Kerbals up here. So these Kerbals can stay here for a really long time. The problem is, these are the Kerbals that went to Minmus. Burful and Bob and Valentina. And I actually need them to come home so that I can complete the contract of going to Minmus and returning, which might be all confused now that we've docked to so many different spacecraft. But anyway, here's Manticore Space Station continuing to grow. And here's the best part. All right, quick save in case this goes wrong. Valentina, demonstrate the new capacity that we have gotten for ourselves here. The best part of the module that we sent up. Aside from more monopropellant storage and recyclers, we also have this Kerbal inventory system container here. Let's get relatively stationary. All right, inventory. And let's open your inventory. And let's drag the drills. There we go. We now have drills. I can't remember what the keyboard commands are, but that's going to enable us to retrofit our spacecraft, which is fantastic. The other thing we can do that's very exciting, let's grab board. The other thing we can do now is we can inflate our new habitat. So let's see what happens to our home, our hab time, which is currently, the lowest one is 253. Inflate. Unable to deploy. Oh. Wait, what do I need? Need 1,800 material kits. Well, it didn't tell me that. Okay. If it did, I didn't see it. Well, we can't inflate this habitat. So when we do send Kerbals up, we'll have to bring 1,800 material kits. That's from Modular Colonization System. So I don't know what that means, but I mean, they're a supply. They're one of the things that you need in Modular Colonization System. And apparently you need them to inflate the habitat. But thankfully we don't have too many Kerbals, so we don't really need the habitat yet. So we'll have to do that in another launch. But anyway, successful launch. This has been good. This is Manticore Station. Let's see what's next. Oh wait, we got to take that thing. Alright, point, orbit, retrograde. And turn off caps lock. And goodbye, space station. We maybe have monopropellant that we could have saved, but I think it's fine. I'm going to fast forward through this too. I'm making a little bit too much editing work for myself, so we'll see. But for now, this is the only idea I have for how to do this. See you on the ground. And as usual, we're dropping our stage on top of some Kerbal landscape. Let's see if anything survives. What? What? How did we survive? How did we survive the landing and then not survive the bouncing? This is why I watch these things, because you never know what to expect. Well, gosh, we're gonna get a little money back. Good thing nobody was around. Oh my gosh, that was hysterical. All right, what's next? I'm checking that we don't have no crash damage on. No, we don't. No cheats are on. Because we also have recycler module debris. Like, our booster stages survived. So let's recover that. Recover. Alright, I don't know how, the, engine didn't break initially. That was super weird. Alright, what are we building right now? We're building a Griffin Mark 1B. Can we retrofit the Griffin Mark 1B so that it carries material kits? It takes a container this size to bring enough material kits, so I think we'll have to do that on some other subsequent launch. That habitat is just not going to be usable for us. How much does that come to weigh? 2,400 kilograms. That's heavy. Material kits are heavy. Okay. And did it warn me about the habitat situation? I feel unwarned. This one. Required resources 1,800 material kits. Okay. And it's 1,800 1800. And I just put material kits 1,900. Yeah, so that's what it would take. What other container options are there? Let me look around. These containers seem to be the only ones that I can find that accept material kits as parts, and I don't even know if these are from the MKS mod. These might be from the space station mod, so I've got things to sort out on, basically. But anyway, let's do something else. Well, I've done a bunch of things. We got more science from our space stations, and I unlocked the next aerospace technology branch, but we have another asteroid coming in. So its periaps is going to be in 4 days, and I've created a new asteroid redirect rendezvous mission to experiment with asteroids, since I'm getting to go to asteroids these days, and I've never gotten to do that. So let's fly that. Okay, here it is. I've got our orbit aligned. Got an interesting shadow on us. I'm not sure. Oh, it's because this is shining light on us. Okay. Well, anyway, we need to launch southeast. And I'm going to pull up the rendezvous thing here. Rendezvous. Have we targeted it? Yes, we have. So we're going to be looking at the relative inclination right here, 63 degrees right now. Let's throttle up, and here we go. All right, I think this is success. Look how long this fairing is. It's longer than the rocket. That's a little silly. And we're banking over a little too fast, so let's stabilize. Stabilize. Our relative inclination is going down. Okay, good. I was going to say it looks like it's going up. No. Okay. Beautiful. Relative inclination continues to go down. Apoap's height is nice and high. Just burn to 80 kilometers or so. Good. All right. I'll deploy these fairings momentarily, and you get to see the new spacecraft. We're using a lot of new technology that we've recently unlocked. And a lot of these parts are parts that I've barely ever gotten to use because I never get this far in the tech tree. So, hooray. Okay, where are we? Yeah, we need much more inclination. So add a maneuver. We should have launched much further south. Instead of trying to correct the inclination here, I'm going to launch into a circular orbit, and then we'll fiddle with inclination later. Apo. Okay. Apparently that was it. Missed it, didn't mean to. We can close our Kerbal Engineer can go away. Alright, save. Let's make sure that these stages work properly. Okay, cool. What is going on with my fairing? That's weird. Alright, power up. Okay, this is the first use of the nuclear rocket. Let's deploy solar panels and radiators. Now, I thought this was going to be on system heat, but it didn't seem to be related to system heat. I thought I had installed the module that would make everything work together, but it didn't seem to be working. What does this say? I've got an alert, but I don't know. I don't know what the alert means. So is this at full thrust? We might not make it into the atmosphere. I mean, we might not make it into orbit. Hang on. We're going to fall back down. Let's close system heat and attend to the bigger problems. What is... Okay, let's not enable the reactor for now. This is way less thrust than I expected. Where are we? We're here. We've fallen back into the atmosphere. Can we still... Alright, let's retract our radiators and our solar panels so that they don't get blown off if we fall too deep into the atmosphere. I can revert if need be, because this is an expensive craft. I think we're going to have to revert. Because we are re-entering right now. And we still have 2 minutes of burn time. Okay, lesson learned. Okay, this is the first time I've reverted for something that should have been a mistake. But I'm going to start doing that because it's my fun. Revert to launch. So, you know, if you're against reverting, I understand. More power to you, but I'm going to not waste my in real life time redesigning it. Also gives us a chance to get into a better inclination. But we do unfortunately have to time warp again. I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, here we go. launching further south this time. And once again, we've gotten banked over too far. Alright. Okay, this should be good. Yeah, a part of me really hates reverting. Like, I feel like when I make a mistake like that, it should be canon. But as we get into the parts of the game that I've never gotten to play before, I'm going to start making a lot of mistakes. And the space program could really go broke if I don't revert my mistakes. Because this is the first time I've used that engine in years. I don't know if I have a mod that's messing with it or not. Let's just burn to like 200 kilometers. Okay, cool. Decouple. Oh, whoops. Let's wait until those fairings detach. I forgot we were inside the fairing. We have to wait for the fairing to detach. There we go. Okay. Can't hear it. Looks cool, though. Alright. Solar panels and radiators. Because I don't understand how the heat dynamics work with this thing. Because it's not working with the mod. Alright. Time accelerate until we have about 200 kilometers. And X. Let's add a maneuver there at Apo to get into a circular orbit. This thing might need way more thrust than I gave it. But we'll find out. We don't need a circular orbit, we just need, that's fine. It's going to be a 1 minute long burn in 4 minutes. Meanwhile, how long is that redirect thing going to last? It's gone pretty high, so let's just get pointed the right direction. Gosh, Kerbin looks so good. Alright. Okay. And oh, the burn time is 4 minutes. It was in 1 minute. Okay, well, we might skip through some of this. I'll see you when we get closer. Okay, several minutes later, we're finally getting our apoaps out of the atmosphere. If this burn is like this, can you imagine how long the asteroid redirect is going to take? This may have been an ill-conceived mission. Okay, we made it into space. Let's see if we can recover our friend. Switch 2. Alright, switch successfully. I'll see you when something happens. Okay. Overheat almost went all the way to the tolerance of the engine, but the engine just barely survived. We're very low to the ground and we can't deploy parachutes. We came in very steeply. Deploy, 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 deploy. There we go. Okay. Some drama. Jewel is very big and bright in the night sky right now. I wonder if it's on close approach. Alright, here we are. Successfully recovered, assuming that when we fall down everything's okay. Yep. Alright, let's go back to our spacecraft. So I switched to the spacecraft, but I have just realized that we did not put any antenna on this spacecraft. So that was a major oversight in the VAB. This mission may be doomed. Because even just going out to where we're going to rendezvous with the asteroid is probably too far for the transmitter that is on this spacecraft. We're going to try anyway, but that I can't revert to fix. Woo. Okay. We'll add a maneuver. I'm going to do some maneuver planning. Oh, look. Look, our inclination is only 1.5 degrees. That's really good. All right, we're going to find out the situation with our signal as soon as we get out to our new app. So let me do this maneuver, and then we'll see what we learn. Hey, now we have sound. I wonder why we had no engine sound before. That's so weird. I thought maybe it was just because it's a nuclear engine, and it was just like it doesn't make any noise. That must have been a bug. That's weird. Anyway, now it makes noise. Hooray! Still gonna skip through this maneuver because it's 2 minutes long. All right, let's find out about our electric charge at our signal at Apoaps. Ooh, maybe we're going to be okay. Looks like we still have complete signal strength, even though we have no antennas. I suppose that the built-in antenna in the probe core is enough now that we've upgraded the tracking station so far. So that's a relief. Okay, good. All right, let's go to our next correction burn. All right. This one's only 7 seconds because it's nice and small. Work to it. Now I can't hear it again. Who knows what's going on with the sound for this engine? Sometimes we're in space and sometimes we're not in space. Let's put it that way. Sometimes we have microphones on and sometimes we don't. Okay, cool. Descending node, 0 degrees. Now it's time to plan our rendezvous. Okay, with this maneuver, we're going to increase our orbit way out to here. And that in the time it will take us to go all the way around the... Wait, which way are we going? Are we going the right way? Yeah, in the time it'll take us to go around, we'll re-intersect with the asteroid. All right, let's do the maneuver now. Add alarm. It's just in an hour. This one's a 3-minute burn. Because it's not really a burn with a nuclear engine. It's a heating. 3-minute thrusting. And it's in silence, so I'll see when something happens. Okay, burn is complete. Let's see how we did. Oh, we overdid it. I think we can actually fix it with RCS pretty handily. Now I'm using monopropellant to slowly change our inclination to make it match and bring our intersect down as close as possible. Alright, 3.3 might be the closest we can get. Unless we can fiddle with it just a little bit more. Alright, we got it within 0.9 kilometers if we do this maneuver. But I feel like this is going to be in a while. Just a day. I can't find my maneuver marker. Something seems to be wrong. I think the maneuver is so small that it just keeps moving around. Let's disable this reactor. Turn prograde and warp to our maneuver. Because the enriched uranium is running down, so we don't want to run the reactor more than we have to. Although, I feel like it's going to last a long time. And now we'll activate engine. Lead on close. And we'll ignore our maneuver. And we'll just do it with, we'll just do it by hand. The tiniest bit of thrust is bringing our intercept down. All right. All silliness. Okay, we have to switch to the Mimic Moho lander before we can do this rendezvous. Because it has a correction burn to do. Oh, Mimic Moho lander, our hopes for getting to Moho rest on you. This is a pretty big burn. Hopefully this thing should have enough delta V to get where we're trying to go. Yeesh. We've had some trouble getting to Moho. Is that it? No. I don't know where it is. Wherever Moho is, we're going there. Alright, close alarm, and let's do this maneuver. See, this engine has sound. Hopefully this burn goes right, because I really don't want to build a new maneuver node to get out to Moho. Okay, that's close enough. Alright, where is Moho? There it is. Focus view. Alright, how is this orbit? I think the maneuver basically worked. Yep. I'm gonna call that good. Alright, quick save. Let's make sure we're pointed so our solar panels can see. Alright, and then we're gonna switch back to the asteroid redirect. Alright, let's encounter an asteroid, shall we? Warp here. It's coming somewhere. I don't think we're within range for the icon to show up. Okay, how are we doing? Still got a 0.9. Okay, close alarm, delete on close and close alarm. 10 minutes. There it is. You can see it as a dot out there from just an object enhancement. We're going to save, and then as we approach, you know what we need to do is we need to actually plan how long this maneuver is going to take, because our relative speed is 163 meters per second. So we need to burn prograde 163 And that's going to take 40 seconds. Okay. So when we are a minute away, but it's going to go away. Closest approach in 1 minute. So wait until it's about 30 seconds away. All right, 11 kilometers. Closest approach in, I can't see it when I do that, 40 seconds. All right, when we're 30 seconds out, I gotta burn the engines. All right, full power, full power. I think I said that already today. All right. Full, you can't hear it, but full atomic power. And it's gonna load, there it is. There's the asteroid. All right, our closing velocity is 72 meters per second. That didn't mean to make it come so fast. I'm gonna fly past it. Whoa, just barely missed too. All right, that's okay. We'll be able to catch up on it. Yeesh, that scared me. That could have been a collision easily. Okay, let's do that because we need to get into a specific arrangement. But here we are. I don't know how we got a relay satellite in orbit around Minmus, but whatever. Okay. Let's slow down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. F5. Now we go to RCS. So let's point orbit retrograde. And let's make sure that we are in locked camera so I don't get confused. Let's roll upside down since we can. Okay. Okay. We want to thrust this way. Towards it. And also this way to get lined up. And we want to thrust forward. I have to eyeball this. Well, let me keep my orientation and then change to target. Okay, we're only going 0.9 meters per second. I might fast forward some of this, but it's just I gotta go slow because I can't really see what I'm doing. All right, the reason I'm pointing orbit retrograde is because I want to make sure that our engines are pointed the right way to capture this thing, because that's our goal, is to capture this thing into a Kerbin orbit. I want to line up the center of mass of the asteroid with my heading, and then I can head forward into it. And we're still translating sideways. We passed it a little bit. Let's keep an eye on the monopropellant. Getting a little low. Just a single thruster to head this direction because of the way I built this craft. Okay. And now we need to switch into... Oop, no. Go back to orbit. Go back to orbit. That's important. Orbit retrograde. Yep. Hold that attitude. And let's look target. So we're lined. Oh wait, I gotta deploy this. Arm. Line up. Gotta line up better. Alright, we're aligned. And we did it. Woo! Okay. Let's make a named quick save. Asteroid capture. Save. Okay, now we get to try out the experiments on this craft. Aim camera. This technology is pretty new to me. Let's disable the reactor. No, we need that. Never mind. We need that. Okay. First, it says we have 40 meters per second. So we're going to point orbit retrograde, and we're going to power up the engine, which is going to be silent for some reason. This is going to use up all of our liquid fuel, but that's okay. Because now we're going to deploy the drills. Deploy drill. And start asteroid harvester. Start asteroid harvester. Extend radiator. Extend radiator. These ore tanks should be starting to fill up with ore. Now, we start the IRSRU liquid fuel. And we are burning the fuel faster than we're making it, but this will give us more fuel when we run out, because it's mining ore into these ore tanks, and then the convertitron is turning the liquid fuel, turning the ore into liquid fuel, which is then going back into our tanks. But it's not making fuel as fast as the engine is burning fuel, but that is okay. So I'm going to have to babysit this for a while. I'll check in with you occasionally. We're getting sort of off course. So let me turn the thrust down. I think that might mean that we are slightly not aligned to the center of mass perfectly. Let's see if the reaction wheel, yeah, the reaction wheel is enough to reorient the spacecraft, which is amazing and scientifically ridiculous. We're just going to periodically have to steer. Maybe if I use lower thrust, the reaction wheel torque won't be... Yeah, it's trying to pitch, but it should be holding things stable now. That means this maneuver is going to take even longer. We are changing the orbit of the asteroid. It's just going to take a while. Oh my goodness! We've already done it! That's amazing! We captured! It's no longer leaving Kerbin's sphere of influence. Mission was already successful, and we haven't even run out of our first fuel tank. That's amazing. Alright, well, I'm going to keep babysitting this, just to see how far I can go. This is going to take me a while, and I might actually need to get up and walk away from the computer while this is running. So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch up with what has happened with this in the next episode. Thank you, and bye-bye.